Hey, this is Christine Kane, and today we're going to talk about getting back on course. Now that it's February, this is another Word of the Year intention setting coaching moment that we're going to do. Now, I've seen a lot of motivational speakers, and one of the metaphors I've seen a few of them use is that when a plane is flying from New York City to Hawaii, that plane is off course something like 75% of the time. Now, I went and did research on this. I couldn't find anything to verify this little metaphor. And it seems to me that if you're in a plane and you're going from New York City to Hawaii and you're off course 75% of the time, that you're going to end up in Russia, where all the Alaskans will watch you from their front porch. So let's just do away with the metaphors, even though I like them very much, and just agree that getting back on course is a crucial element of our success. And it's a critical part of any worthwhile transformation, because we know we set intention and we're constantly getting back on course. We constantly have to have that vision in our mind. And the reason I wanted to talk about this today was because I have a client in my Platinum Mastermind this year who was also in my Platinum Mastermind last year. And what I recognized was that she was having a little bit of trouble with her word of the year. And we did an intention check-in last week, and we got her back on course. And so this was inspired by a client. I'm going to call her Vanessa, and this is Vanessa. And Vanessa is an entrepreneur, and she has her own business. In fact, last year in October, she had her first $40,000 month, and she's doing awesome. And so I want you to be very aware that these moments are just that. They're moments. They come to they try to make you think that they're the reality of who you are, but they're not. And here was a direct quote that was in her coaching form last week. She said, "I'm struggling a bit with feeling like I need to shine all the time." Now, her word of the year was shine. And she added to that, and she said, every time I open my medicine chest and I see that word sitting there, I feel like I got to get up on stage and I got to dance and I got to show up. And she was starting to feel resentful of her own word, which happens sometimes. And I know Vanessa, and I know what she was probably doing was she was thinking in terms of like the dictionary definition of shine, or the media definition of what shining looks like and what it has to be. Or she was looking around her at some of the funky people on the street where she lived. And I gave her a coaching moment, and I'll give this to you too. Anytime you feel off course or you feel like you're failing, stop seeing that as the problem and just start seeing it as the symptom. So you get a little wonky and you say, what is this showing me? Instead of saying, this is who I really am. I'm just going to give up on myself. See it as the symptom and then take it a step further from that. So what I did with her is what I want you to watch today, is watch this process in action today. And what I said to her, all right, let's get back in touch with shine, because back in October when you were considering this word, it meant a lot to you. And I said, why don't we redefine it and get you back on course before we do our rest of our coaching call? And I said, what does it mean to shine? And she was still in that deflated place, and she goes, well, it means to be true to myself. And I said to her, you know what? Our brain doesn't like platitudes. In fact, this is your brain. This is your brain on platitudes. When you say something like, be true to myself. Because there are days when being true to myself, we could convince ourselves it means eat an entire bag of Oreos because I'm so frustrated. So I said, what does being true to yourself look like? And she said, okay, being true to myself looks like this. It's remembering the woman I was meant to be. And that's a huge thing for her. That's one of her touchstones. And remembering that is my goal. And that even the small steps I take matter greatly. And suddenly I could start feeling the life come back into her voice. And I said, all right, what else does it mean to be true to yourself? And she said, okay, it's remembering that I've made progress, reminding myself I can lose 3 pounds when I'm on a cruise, damn it. And those were her words. I was typing away as she was saying all this. And remembering that I can accomplish things instead of always remembering where I have failed. Now, in her case, being true to herself meant a lot about reminding herself and remembering. Reminding and remembering instead of betraying, which is what a lot of people do on a daily basis. They kind of betray themselves. And as she said this, I could feel the true Vanessa start coming back into her voice. And I said, all right, what else does it mean to shine? And she said, shine means doing the best I can every day. And I reminded her of our brain on platitudes. And she said, okay, that looks like this. And she said, it means not checking out, which is a big one for a lot of us. It means being aware that I can at least do one small something today. And she was sort of on a roll, and she just started listing them off. It means listening to my body. It means listening to my feelings, but not being in my feelings. And I was no longer asking her to say anymore. She was just going for it here. And she said, okay, it also means listening to my feelings, but not reacting to them. And here was really important because we were at the crux of the matter. This is where the big turnaround was, because at this moment, up till now, she had been reacting to her feelings, and we were turning to what I call the opposite of reaction, which is creation, which is creativity. And so I said, all right, tell me what else it means to shine. And she said, it means being happy. And before I could even tell her about the brain on platitudes thing, she said, which means honoring myself enough to spend time doing work I love, putting time in at my studio, because Vanessa's also an artist and she spends time in her studio in addition to building her business. And she said it means caring for my dog, because a lot of us who have dogs, we know our dog means happiness. Showing up fully during our time together instead of just sort of going, oh, I gotta walk the dog. And then she remembered her friends and she said, oh, caring for my friends and showing up. And she used the word full engagement for them. And then she was reminded of herself and the showing up fully engaged for me. And then at the end, because she was feeling so much energy at this point, she said, oh, yeah. And shine means noticing when the sun is shining and really appreciating it. Because Vanessa lives in a city that's not in the most sunny space in the wintertime. So it's a little tough for her. So when the sun is shining, she said she really wanted to notice it. Now realize that shine for Vanessa meant a lot less about this kind of thing and a lot more about this kind of thing. And she could really get in touch with it once she defined it for herself. So what does this mean to you? What this means to you is that you want to first get present, all right? Now that it's February, check back in with your word of the year or any intention you've made recently, because I'm going to remind you that setting intention, choosing a word of the year, it doesn't mean all of a sudden everything magically changes for you. So get present. And a lot of times, I'll tell you what that means. It means stepping away from your computer, getting back into your center, doing something that connects you with yourself, all right? Get back on course. So redefine your word. Make it mean something to you. Anytime you say one of those little platitude things that just doesn't feel right, say, what does that mean? What does that look like on a daily basis? Recommit to that intention. Write it down, read it daily. And I'm going to encourage you, a little bonus thing you can do is read it aloud daily. We're human beings. We have these bodies at our disposal that are meant to create results and create transformation. So you have your voice, and our voice is a very powerful tool. And if you think it's going to make you look stupid, I'll just simply say, if the worst that happens is you look stupid, that's not a big deal. But, would you rather be cool or would you rather be wealthy? Would you rather be hip or would you rather be happy? And I've been in the music business for 15 years, and I eventually had to get to where I asked myself those questions because I was very addicted to hip and very addicted to cool. And then I started reading things aloud in my home and realizing I'd rather look stupid and be wealthy than be really cool. Okay, so that's being said there. Number 4 is you want to take action. And that's that thing that Vanessa said. You take small action toward your dream, toward your vision. And if you've gotten off course, Vanessa went on a cruise and it got her a little off course in terms of just her daily habits. Take a small action. That's what baby steps are all about. And last thing, rest, reconnect often. That's that step away from the computer. Make sure you are eating well. Make sure you are getting lots of naps. And for those of you who don't know what the word of the year is, I've put a link below. You can get the word of the year discovery tool. And let me remind you, for those of you who are being perfectionists and saying, oh, it's too late, it's already February, every single day of the year is the beginning of a new year. It is not too late to reconnect with your intentions. It's not too late to choose a word for your year. It's just that your year is starting right now. So thanks very much, and you guys have a great day.